Welcome to another video, and in this video I'll be doing a forex trading recap and how I got 1000 tips this previous week just trading currency pairs, no indices, no gold, no other things like that. So I'll be doing a breakdown of how I took the trade, what confirmations I got, the risk percentage, and my exit rules, and why I took profit, and the other ones that I'm holding. So I suggest to watch this video till the very end, as you may learn a thing or two. Let's get into the video. So first things first, the currency pairs we'll be looking at here are CHF JPY, Euro AUD, Euro CAD, Euro JPY, Euro NZD, Euro USD, GBP USD, NZD JPY, NZD USD, USD CAD, and USD CHF. These are quite a lot of pairs that I took this week, but if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend looking at so many pairs. But when you get used to this, any pair can work for you, provided you see the right setup. So I won't do the analysis from top tab down because that will make the video longer. So I'll just see you, the charts are already analyzed, and I'll just show you how I entered and what confirmation I got. So we'll start with CHF JPY. So first things you should know when you're looking at JPY pairs, you're also supposed to look at the JPY index just to get the correlation and see how all the JPY pairs are moving, because JPY pairs mostly move together. So here's the JPY index on the daily time frame. I saw this, on the daily time frame I saw this impulse move, then a correction, and it was coming to an important level here. As you can see, it tested here, it tested here, it tested here, it tested here, broke out, then came back to retest it. So I know that the JPY basket was going to become strong, meaning JPY XX pairs will become strong. That means XX JPY pairs will become weak, so I should be looking for sales. That's just to get my bias. So then I went to CHF JPY. Actually on this one, the first time I entered it the other week, not this week, where I made 1000 pips, it took me out, and the picture there is showing that how I analyzed it and how it took him out. So I decided to re-enter it, and this was my confirmation. Let me show you. Let me just go to the H4. So I saw this trend line that it was fine in support. Then we go to the H4, we'll see something very interesting, because already I have my bias that I'm looking for a sell. So I'll show you how I entered. So once I saw this trend line where it was finding resistance, I drew this. Then there was also this other trend line. Then there was this important zone that it broke above the other week that I took a sell, it took me out. That was just an early entry. It happens at times. So I was waiting for it to hit this key level. These are just levels that I mark out. I've got rules how I mark out these levels. I'll drop a video in the long run. So I saw this level where it touched. Then once price came back in, it failed to break above this level. I knew that now I'm waiting for a sell. So I put a sell stop here, and I was risking about 20 pips. 20 pips. My stop loss was above the key level. Then my first take profit was there. This was about 70 pips, and I've still left the runner and see how far we can go. So that's it on CHF JPY. I put a sell stop here because price was seeming like it's rejecting this area. So I knew once we break below this, we'll keep on going down. So that's for CHF JPY. I hope it's clear. Then we go to Euro JPY. Remember, all JPYs I was looking for sales, no buying. The XX JPY pairs, don't get me wrong. So in Euro JPY, it's actually a very interesting pair. When we look at the daily, we'll see that there's a trend line there that was also finding resistance. 1, 2, then it broke out of the trend line there, then came back in. So when we go to the H4, we'll see something very interesting. So on the H4, there was this zone. It was support, support, support. Now it became resistance, but it broke above this resistance, and it was playing around this area. Then moreover, we're seeing this wedge pattern, more like wedge pattern. So it was going there. Then there was also this level that I marked out here, because price came down here, tested this level, then broke. So this level was important to me, so I marked it out. So once I marked out that level, once price rejected, actually I was looking at something else, then once price rejected this level and started going down, I didn't catch the sell from this top because I was already in other pairs. So once it broke down and was consolidating below this level, so I knew it's come back below this level, so I took a sell there, and my stop loss was this one was quite big. My stop loss was just above this level, somewhere here above this level that I'd marked, and my take profit was somewhere there. Yeah, this was about almost 200 pips if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, from there to there, you know. So I held this one and I'm still holding. I took some profits already and I'm still holding. I'll close where I see the market structure starts changing, because now it's back at an important level. So my entry, once I saw price back in this trend line, as you can see, and it's below this important level. Actually my stop loss was just above this candle that's different. So pips from there to there, it's about 300 actually. So my risk to reward was 42. I was risking 42 pips. Yeah, you've seen, which is great. It's more than a 1 to 5 risk to reward. So that's basically on the Euro JPY. Remember, JPY, XX JPY pairs, I was just looking for sales. So the other pair I took a sell on was the NZD JPY. On this one, yeah, the same thing. On the daily, you know, JPY, the goodness with them, they usually move together, but doesn't mean once you see a sell on NZ you should just take it. You have to, sometimes others may delay, you have to get more confirmation. So on this one I saw that price made an impulse, corrective impulse. So this was a corrective wave. So I got my Fibonacci 2 there, I put it from there to there. So I knew price was playing around the 61.8 fib zone. So what I did here, I went down to the H4. So I also use sometimes session time. You need to know what session price will move and react. I actually like to enter my trades after London breakout. So I knew price was breaking out to this level that I had marked here, 70.31, and once it rejected and I got a bearish candle, I took a sell there. I took like 2-3 positions there. Then my take profit was at this level that I had marked. You know, these are important levels where price rejects. You can draw them as zones or lines. I just prefer lines, it's cleaner for me like that. Yeah, just that. So from there I got about 100 pips. Yeah, so that's how I saw the NZD JPY. So already we're done with now JPY pairs. So let's go to another interesting pair which I saw was Euro AUD. Actually I was seeing AUD to weaken, so I decided Euro AUD would be my pair to take. So with Euro AUD, if we go on the daily, so we can see that there's that trend line. We're in a bullish trend. This was an impulse move, this was a corrective move. I got my Fibonacci 2 there. I use it at times, you know. I knew we're rejecting the 50%. So now where's my entry going to be? So I went down to the H4. I had marked out this level here, you know. As you can see here, they're just you pick a level. You've seen here they're just bullish candles. Then there's this one candle that's different. So I marked out that level. It was a very important level for me, you know. So once price came and tested that level and it rejected, I took my buy there. I took my buy. This one was actually one of the best trades I took because the risk was minimal and the reward was there, 50 pips. Then my take profit was there, you know. That's about 1 to 6 risk to reward, you know. This was a very, very good trade, you know, because I knew once price rejects this level, we're going up. And already my bias on other AUD pairs that I had analyzed was that they're going to weaken. Remember, it's important at times to use correlation, but doesn't mean every time you see a buy there you sell the other opposite. No. So, and I was also seeing a bearish channel there. If we go on the 1 hour, yeah, I was seeing that. And the next day there was news for AUD pairs, so I knew this to usually go against the average retail traders. So I was seeing that. So you've seen this. So this is how I got Euro AUD. Yeah. So once price was in this channel playing around, then this bullish candle, once it rejected and came up, I took a buy there. Other people could take sniper entries there, but for me, I like to wait for confirmation. It's important to wait. Actually, you get paid to wait, just to give more clarity to your buyers. So that's what I saw on Euro AUD. Once it rejected this level and came back inside, I took my position there, and my stop loss was just below there. This was about almost 200 pips. Yeah, this one I think I closed. Yeah, so on I hope it's clear on Euro AUD. Then we go to Euro NZD. These are actually also positively correlated. Euro AUD and Euro NZD, they mostly like to move the same, but sometimes other one remains behind and all those things. So Euro AUD has also got a similar structure like Euro AUD. So I saw this, it was finding support on this trend line, and it made an impulse move to the upside, then retraced. It made more of a double bottom, so I knew I was looking for a buy. But where am I going to take my buy? There's this level that I was seeing. You see, price came here, found support, went up, came back, found support, went up, came back, found support. So I knew this was a very important level. So that's how I marked it out. I 76.22. Then I went down to my H4. So what was going to be my confirmation? So this is where things get interesting. So you zoom out, this is the level that I'm talking about. So how did I take a position from here? So I went down to my 1 hour. I saw price was making more of a, when price is moving to a zone, it was making more of a trend line where it was finding resistance. I just use this for entry. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, this is actually, yeah, something like that. So when price broke below this level that I had marked out, and once it came back in to retest it, I took a position there because I knew from here, and my stop loss was just below this low. This one I held it for about, this was 150 pips, and the risk to reward was very good actually. Yeah, so you just put your stop loss below the low, because since price is anticipating price to go bullish, you want it to make higher highs, so you don't want it to hit any lows. So there, I'm actually anticipating it to reach maybe somewhere there, but we'll see. We just have to be reactive. I've already taken partial profit, so the rest maybe I'll just be taking out of break even, but there's no losing. Yeah, so on this one, that's how I took it on Euro NZD. So we go to Euro USD. Yeah, they're quite a number, but these trades I wasn't taking them like every day. I held them. I just took maybe all of them on Monday or Tuesday, took 3 on Tuesday, hold them maybe for a day or 2, then the next day I take. Not that I was trading every day, no. I'm a swing trader and day trader. Some I hold, some I take profits just daily. So Euro USD is actually interesting. If you've watched my previous videos, I've been anticipating for the dollar to be strong. So that means I've been looking for sales on USD XX pairs or XX USD pairs. So for Euro USD, I saw this level. We've seen there's this trend line here. It's been finding support there. I just cloned the trend line. I put it the other side. It's one technique I use. So I put it the other side. This is the same trend line, but that doesn't really matter now. Yeah, so there's that trend line. Then there's this level that I marked out here. It was finding found support here, support. It broke below. Now it came back above. So sometimes this is what we call trap trading, because price has broken above this. Other traders will see this as it's now become support, but that's not the case. You want price to go up, then come back and test it, not the same day necessarily. So once I saw that level, I went down to the H4. This is where I see things clear. So there's this high that I marked out here. There's this high, the previous week high, that's what we call it. So on the template it was showing that price was at the previous day high. So price broke above. This was on a Monday, tested around that trend line, then it broke below. So once it broke below with this big candle here, so I knew that here would be looking for sales. So I took my sell there. And my stop loss was just above this high, because I knew that was about 25 pips, and I was aiming to take profit at least somewhere here as my first TP with 70 pips, then the next one with about 110 pips there, you know, because now we're at a very critical level here. So once price was playing around this area, then broke below this level that I'd marked out, 180.73, I knew we'd be looking for sales and would drop down there, because this was just a channel that it was playing around, and guess what, it broke out. I took another position here and we're riding it down till here, but we just have to monitor and see what it does here. Yeah, so that's how I caught my Euro USD. So what you have to do when price is at a certain level, you just wait for confirmation, either a candlestick pattern, a minor trend line breakout, or whatever confirmations you use, fib zones. Don't just come here and sell. No, you can do that, but you might end up at break even or lose at times. So for me, I like to wait. Actually, you get paid to wait. Patience is the key in this game, you know. These trades, I've been monitoring them for weeks and weeks, you know. So this was just one of my good weeks where I managed to catch them, and they proved to me the things that I wanted to see. So once it broke below there, I took a sell. Yeah, that's on Euro USD. And remember, since on Euro USD I'm looking for a sell, so other USD XX pairs I should have been looking for buy. So that takes us now to USD CHF. For USD CHF, it hasn't been the cleanest structure. I don't know what's happening to the Swiss franc, but I managed to catch it. I managed to catch it. So with this one, I don't want to show you that trading is all just about blues. I did take a buy sometime last week. It took me out. I took a buy here. When it took profit, it took me out at break even, but I still didn't change my bias. I only changed my bias if price breaks this low, then we've made a lower low. So price on, just to start with, on USD CHF, this what's been happening. There's this trend line here where it's been finding resistance. This is the same trend line, that's channel that's parallel to this line. Then it rejected this level that I mentioned in my previous video. It tested here, found support, went up, tested here, rejected. It went above, then closed back in. Failed to break above. I was planning it for it to continue up because I want the dollar to be strong. So once I saw that it's below this level, so I got my fib zone. So this, since we're taking this as an impulse move, so let's see it on the H4 time frame. So we just zoom out. Since I'm seeing this as an impulse move to the upside, so my buys were still valid unless we make we come to this level or we make something lower than this level. Then now my setup will become invalid. So I knew price was playing around the 76.60 fib zone. So I knew that would be a potential area for me to look for buys. And so when we hit that level, I drew this line 90.886. I marked out this level, a key level, which area was it was rejecting. So once it was coming here, so here there's a trend line where it's finding support, and there's also this level. So from here now, I just wait for more confirmation. So what I did here, when you zoom in, you see that price was ranging below 91.00. So once it broke above, then retested. So I knew now I'm making higher highs. So I took a buy there and held it. My first TP was at the next level of structure. This was this level. I took minor profits here and there, and I'm still holding. We'll see what if it breaks this low and breaks this, then my buys will be valid. Yeah, so that's how I saw on USD CHF. You just have to monitor price at certain specific zones and wait for confirmation, either engulfing candle. So here there was also even an engulfing candle to show that now we're going bullish. But me, I don't mainly just focus on candlestick patterns. I add more to it. The more confirmations you have on the trade, the better clarity it becomes, you know. Yeah, so that's how I got the buys on USD CHF, and from here I took about 90 pips or so. So that's 60. It didn't actually move that much, you know. Yeah, 60 pips on that, but it's okay. The risk reward is okay. So long my risk reward is 1 to 2 or more, or 1 to 3 or more, then I'll always end up profitable. So that's it on USD CHF. Remember, I also added some clarity by me analyzing Euro USD, because I want to see if I'm seeing sales on Euro USD, I want to see buys on USD CHF. Not that I'll buy them at the same time, but at least I have to balance and see things how they work. So then we go to USD CAD. USD CAD has been interesting also for some time. I haven't actually looked at this pair for some time, so I saw this on USD CAD. When we go to the daily, you know, it's always better to start either daily, weekly, or monthly to get your overall buzz and see what price is at. Even if you're a swing trader, day trader, or scalp, at least just see what's happening every day. So on USD CAD, there's this level that I marked out. I don't know if you can see. Price went above this level, came close, retested it, then closed above. So this level, there are rules that I've set to mark out this level. So I knew it was at the key level. So what was I looking for? In the previous days, it closed bullish, and this candle, it's not really a big engulfing candle, but you can see this bullish candle engulfed this other candle here. So that's what I was seeing on USD CAD. Then let me drop down to the H4. Yeah. So once I drop down to the H4, what was I seeing? There's this minor trend line I'm seeing here. Price was slowly making higher highs, you know. It's not the cleanest, but yeah. So there was a resistance here, it was failing to break above. There it tested, failed to break. Tested there, failed to break. Tested there, it failed to break. Then you can see these 1, 2, 3 were bullish. Then it made a candle that's different to all these candles. So this was just like a minor retracement. So what I did for this one, I set a buy stop just above this candle, because sometimes I end up missing these trades and we need to maximize on profits and always set limit orders in case we're not on the charts. So I set a buy stop just above this limit, 2 buy stops. My first take profit was on this level that I've marked here, this level actually that I've marked here. Then the other one I'm still holding. So after I set a buy stop here, I knew price most likely, remember on CAD JPY, because I was expecting the JPYs to be weak, so CAD JPY I was seeing some sales there. So USD CAD I should have been seeing more buys there. So I set a buy stop there. My stop loss was below, since this was the previous low, so my stop loss was just about 42 pips, which is okay since I'm a day or swing trader. So long as it's not above 50 or 100, it's okay. And my reward was more than that, which is my first TP was 88 pips or 90 pips per se. It's okay. The risk reward is at least more than 2, 1 to 2 or more. So USD CAD, once I set my buy limit there, and when price came, I just found my buy stop has been triggered and my TP already hit there. So it's rejecting this level that I marked here, and I knew that's why you need to set your take profits at critical levels, because I knew price tested here, rejected, it tested here, rejected, it came back, tested here, rejected, then closed below. So there's no way price can just come straight. No, when it reaches these levels, it will test, reject, retrace, then come back, or it can tap this level, grab more liquidity, then continue its move to the downside. But whatever happens, my stop loss is still at break even, so I won't lose. It's either I'll end up at break even or take more profits. But I've already managed to take the profits that I wanted on this trade. Don't mind the other lines, they're just other levels I use when I'm analyzing and stuff. So that's basically it on USD CAD. Let's move to we're almost done here. Remember, these trades, I didn't analyze them this week. I've been looking at them for weeks and they just presented themselves this past week. That's why it was easy for me to capitalize on them. You know, you get paid to wait. Patience is the key. There are other traders, many professional traders, I say, Forex takes money from the impatient to the patient. So I have been waiting for these setups for weeks or so, even months, you know. So I guess we're even coming to the end. So GBP USD, yeah, this was also interesting. GBP USD was also interesting. The GBP pairs have actually been unstable of late. I'm sure scalpers have been profiting or losing big because they've been up, down, up, down, up, down. If your stop loss is too tight, it will definitely take your stop loss. I haven't looked at them in a while, so this is what I saw. So GBP pairs, they created a large impulse move to the downside. So this was just like a corrective wave, or I could be wrong. So this is what I saw. So I knew Then there's this zone, you've seen it tapped there, support, when came back, retested, so it was coming here. So at this level I knew I should be looking for a sell, so I drew a trend line just to get my bars and see where it's finding resistance. Then on the H4, this is where it gets interesting. So I use higher time frame to get my buyers, then I drop down to H4, H1 to get my entries, and sometimes M15, but it's much cleaner on H1. Yeah, so here this is what I saw. I marked out this key level, 30, 21, 8. The ways I mark out this level, I'll teach you in the long run. So I marked out this level. So what I saw is that when I woke up during London session, price was, you can see there's this channel, it was moving in, it was finding support there. I didn't take the sell here. When I found price one big candle to the upside, this is just like this is an inducement candle or liquidity grab candle, just one big candle like this. Others will see it like an engulfing, but from what I know, usually these fake moves sometimes are caused by news or imbalance in price or just funny stuff, you know. You don't have to always fall for them, but sometimes it can be a continuation. So when I saw this move to the upside and the level where it tapped, because it was a key level for me, so I knew it was just a liquidity grab. So I waited here, and once this H4 candle rejected this level and came back below 30.21, I knew I should be looking for sales there. So I took my sales there, and my stop loss was just above the high here, which is about, for GBP pairs it's quite huge because they're very volatile, about 50 pips. Then I was targeting 100 pips or more, 110. I took my first TP there, 150 pips, you know, because GBP pairs are very volatile, and if your stop loss sometimes is too tight, you end up losing easily. Yeah, so that's what I saw. So once this big move happened and it tapped into my key level and my resistance zone there, and there's a trend line there, so already I've got more than 3 confirmations there to take the trade. So that's how I took my sell there, held it. I just found my first TP and still holding. So that's on GBP USD. Then my last one is EuroCAD. It didn't move according to how I wanted it, but I'm anticipating for more pips. Yeah, I'll re-enter it this coming week. EuroCAD. So on EuroCAD, if we go on the daily, it's been bearish for weeks and weeks now. You know, it tapped that level, it's been bearish, but you know, price will never just go in a straight line. It will start retracing, and if you're taking retracement on a daily, weekly or monthly, you can catch more pips than taking a retracement on a minor time frame, because those retracements can go for weeks or even months at times, you know. So I knew that at least at an important level here, price touched this level, it rejected, so it was coming there. Then if you zoom in closely, you see this candlestick pattern, which is more like a doji candle. The name doesn't actually matter so long you know what it means. So I knew the next day I should be looking for buys. So what I did, H4, the euro CAD usually moves well early London, after London session, London breakout. So in EuroCAD, remember when price is approaching a specific zone, you have to draw a trend line or look for a candlestick formation just to give you more clarity on if the shift is going to happen. So I saw more of a minor W pattern, but this isn't a good W pattern because it's on a smaller time frame. So I saw this price touch there, it rejected, it touched that level, it rejected, then came above 54.27. So from there I actually set a buy stop above here. This one I just took a few pips, you know, because I was risking less. Just took about 50 pips or so, 45, 50, and risking just 20 pips or so, 1 to 2 risk to run, and it was okay. But I'm anticipating for more push to the upside. I expected it to at least reach this level, then we can continue the sell. So once I saw price reject here, I wanted to take a buy here, but because I was on so many trades, and sometimes it's just better to not to overtrade and stuff, so that's why I used my buy stop, so that even if it continued selling, I wouldn't have lost much, you know. It wouldn't have triggered my buy stop, but I took my buy stop and it hit my TP already. It was just a minor scalp, this one. So that's basically, that's how I managed to catch 1000 pips on just currency pairs. The only trade that hit my stop loss this past few weeks was on NAS. I don't know if I can show you, just because my bias was a buy earlier during the week, but it changed later at the end of the week. I took buy, but I don't want to talk about that. Doesn't mean that I don't lose. And I also took some minor losses, like remember on CHF-JPY the other week, it hit my stop loss. I entered too early. My bias was correct, but sometimes I didn't have proper confirmation because it sold a bit here, then came back rejected, so it wasn't ready to shift yet. That's why I was just looking at it and monitoring it, and when the shift was ready, I managed to capitalize on it. So that's basically just a few pointers to help out those that are struggling, and what you can take from this. The name of the game is just patience. Patience is, you can know how to analyze pairs, but if your patience is not in check, trust me, you get stuck. Just wait for setups, wait for proper confirmation. If you have at least 2 or more confirmations, the better. Not just one confirmation, you just see price is at this trend line, you want to sell. The reason is that it's a trend line. So like, take for example, for Euro USD, it was at a trend line. That's 1. 2, I was seeing USD CHF to be strong. 3, it broke below the key level. 4, even the candlestick pattern confirmed. It's like more 5 reasons for me to take this sale. So that means that's a proper trade for me to take. Then also not over trading, at least minimal. For me, I personally just take from now on, I usually just take 1 to 3 trades. If I lose 2 trades, I stop trading for the day. I come back the next day, because once you over trade, your mindset, if you lose more than 3 trades in a day, you're not trading well with validation. Now you're just gambling. So once I lose 2 trades, I just stop and come back. I can even pass a week. Like last week, I didn't trade much, just 2-3 trades. It wasn't a good week for me, but still profitable. You can have a bad week but still end up profitable. Just your trades, and they didn't move accordingly. So then the last key factor I'll just talk about is just, if you're new, don't focus on many pairs. For me, these pairs, it's because I've been around for not very long, but I'm trying to master my setup, so I know what I'm looking for. But if you're a beginner, I'll just recommend not more than 10 pairs, even 5 or 1 or 2, you still end up being profitable. For me, these pairs, I've been looking at them daily and seeing if they're playing out. So if you're new, I would advise you just focus on 5 pairs or 3 or even 2 or 1. Just wait for more confirmation. At least also use correlation. It's very important for you to, if you're seeing a buy on this setup, have more confirmation on the other side, like I did for the JPY pairs. And let's see how they play out this coming week. So the only reason I didn't want to reanalyze all this with you, because I wanted to show you how I was taking the trades. Reanalyzing would have made the video longer and stuff like that. But so from now, after I'm done with this video, I'm going to sit down, clear out the charts, and reanalyze and prepare for the new week in case I'm missing out certain things that I haven't seen. So that's what I do every week. It's important you go through your pairs, you prepare for the new week. That's what I did. That's how come I was ready for this week. I was just waiting for things to play out the way I wanted them. So we've actually come to the end of the video. Don't forget to leave in the comments section below, how was your trading week? What lessons did you take from this week? Were you profitable or not? Why are you struggling? So that we can help each other. Glad enough to respond, and I want to see all of us win. There's plenty of money for us to take from this industry, enough for everyone. So it's your boy 808, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really does help support the creation of more educational content and analysis like this. And also drop your comments in the section. Let's get chatting. What other video topics would you like me to cover? And hope this video was helpful to one of you, and hope my explanation was clear enough. And feel free to DM me on my social media handles. It's bye for now, and ciao.